Hello, Let's Do Video viewers. Welcome back. And welcome back to our boardroom, Chuck. It's been a while since we had you here. Chuck, can you please introduce yourself to our viewers?
Yeah, first of all, thank you very much for having me back, David. My name is Chuck Tuck, and I'm with AVer. I've been here for quite some time, is what I'll say, but I do all product training for the K through 12 market. So anything that you need in K through 12 across the states, I'm the guy to do that for you.
Well, I'm happy to have you here. Usually we talk about meeting rooms and boardrooms. Aver's got us covered for days here. But for me, the fun stuff, the exciting stuff is the K through 12, the education. That's when we get all the new developments. So what's happening with Aver and education?
Yeah, well, there's a few things that I want to talk about today. We have our pre-wired carts, and that's a huge thing with the pre-wired carts. We also have a portable voice amplification system, so portable. So that's really cool. And wireless document cameras. I love document cameras, and that's where my passion lies, is right there. But everything that we have is great. So, if you give me the chance, I'd like to talk to you a little bit about those three things.
Yeah, let's go all three. Let's go through all three.
All right. So, carts are one of those things that's really important. And it's probably more important than what we realize, because if a student doesn't have a device that's charged and ready to go, it kind of puts a damper on the entire classroom, because now you're waiting for somebody. So our new E30P is a pre-wired cart. So of course it has 30 devices that you could charge. So it is really a smart charging, intelligent charging cart. And if I can, I'd like to tell you a little bit about that.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, so standard carts, sometimes you just plug things in and it just charges everything at once. I will say the drawbacks about that is it can overcharge a device. So with the E30P, what it does is you have three strips of 10 outlets, so it's 30 devices. Maybe you only have 3 or 4 devices put into row number one. And if it's drawing less than a half an amp, it says, well, we don't need to charge this row. Let's go to the next and let's start charging there. It does a cycle charging. So it'll do 20 minutes on the first, 20 minutes on the next, 20 minutes on the third, and it just cycles through until everything's fully charged. So again, it's smart enough to know what to skip, what to charge, and how much to charge. And all of those things add up to really the longevity of the battery. So that's really big too, because we don't want batteries to run out, wear out, and things like that earlier than they should be. So the E30P is smart enough to not overcharge those devices.
Now I'm kind of sad that we need this to exist, but we do need this to exist. I wish our devices were smart enough to protect themselves, but I've gone through many devices where I buy, a little remote light or something, or even, your cell phone. And after a couple of years, the battery's dead. And you say, what happened? They said, did you leave it plugged in all the time? Yeah, I left it plugged in all the time. I was being good. No, I was being bad. They don't like to be plugged in all the time. They need to be, if they're charged, they don't want you keep sending power, it ruins the battery. So if the device isn't smart to protect itself, we need a cart that can protect our devices.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, we've heard it before. If you're used to any of the EV vehicles and things like that, especially I won't name any manufacturers or anything, but they say, hey, don't charge it to 100% all the time. Don't overcharge. And like I said, our cell phones, the same thing. I take my device and I always, program it in there to only go to 85%. So I'm not going to constantly overcharge it, because I don't want to plug it in and at midnight go, oh, I better unplug it. So it's the same thing with our cart. It's just smart enough to know not to do this overcharging stuff.
Yep. And our students, our K through 12, they're kind of dependent on their devices. They need the electronics to learn. You just, at my day, you give me a crayon and a piece of paper, I was good. But they need their devices, so we have to protect their batteries. So that's excellent. Anything else on this one, or should we move on to the second one?
Well, I think folks may or may not know, but we do have a really good warranty on all of our carts. So you're looking at
Yes.
a 10-year mechanical and the 5-year on the electrical. So we've got a fantastic customer support department. Um, just call in, let us know what's going on. Customer support's going to help you out. And if need be, like on the E30P, if something is faulty, but we can repair it, we're not going to have you send it back. Talk to our support department. They'll figure something out. Have somebody come out, and actually a technician will repair it there on site. Sometimes with the shipping, it can add extra days, and you don't want to be without your charging cart for days.
We actually had James, your colleague from AVer, on the show recently to talk about warranties. You wouldn't think warranties would be enough to talk about, but at AVer, there really are. I feel like when you buy from AVer, you don't just buy a camera, you buy the concept of there's going to be a camera in that room for 5 years or whatever the time period is. You really make sure your customers have that ease of mind that they're not buying a device, they're buying a solution for the room that's going to be there.
Yeah, exactly. And one thing that I want to throw in there with that is, we'd like to remind people to fill out those warranties. Make sure they do that because, it's just like me. I'm guilty. I get my new product, my new item, and it is so important, much more important than you would really figure out. Remember, fill out those warranties.
Yes, AVer wants to help you with this, so let them. All right, so let's
Right.
move on to our second product.
Yeah, yeah. So this kind of goes along with sound and audio and things like that. And I'm kind of likening this to going to a movie theater and, you're there for half that experience is that audio, that surround sound, hearing good, clear audio and seeing a good image. The image part is going to come later with our document cameras, but you want to also have some good sound. And we have our Ampliwave Go. And the Ampliwave Go is really a portable classroom amplification device. It's an audio system. So portable, it truly is portable. Use it in the classroom, use it on a school bus, out in the playfield, all kinds of stuff.
Yeah, I always say audio is the most important part of the experience, whether you're in person or remote. Audio is definitely the most important part of video. But even in person, in these classrooms, if you can't hear the teacher, you can't learn anything.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, if can you imagine if we're doing this right now and the people are going, "What did David say? What was that, Chuck? What did he say?" That's kind of the part of the danger. I'll call it the danger of this without having that good audio, good clear audio, such as what the Ampliwave Go can do, is if you're sitting in the back of that classroom and you're picking up just some of the things, we're kind of like a computer, our brains will fill in those gaps with, I wonder if this is what the teacher said. But that's what we really want to avoid. And the Ampliwave Go is a great, great portable unit to do that. Like I said, in the classroom, out in the field, or even in the school bus.
Now, I have one concern here, so put my mind at ease, because audio is hard. The reason my company is Let's Do Video is because I'm not smart enough to figure out audio. I can't tell you how many videos I've done, and afterwards, oh no, the audio, I messed up the audio because I'm dumb. Audio is really hard. So and our teachers, they're teaching. Their job is to learn to teach. Their job isn't to learn hard technology. So is this thing simple to use, or are we gonna have to train our teachers another complicated technology?
Yeah, I'm glad you are asking that question because it is virtually plug and play. So simple, plug it in, power it up. Again, it is portable, so you can charge the battery and use it that way too. But you can also have it plugged into your outlet and power it that way. But the easy part is with that microphone, it's as simple as pointing, pressing a button, holding it, and pairing it with the Ampliwave Go. And it does include that one wireless microphone. Aside from that, that's it. You're ready to go.
Oh, great. My cousin Sharon, my favorite cousin, is a teacher in South Florida. And anytime she gets a complicated new technology, she blames me because I'm the technology lover in the family. She's like, it's your fault. I have to learn this thing. So I'm going to tell her this one's easy. She doesn't have to worry about it.
Yeah, it's very easy. And in fact, the other things about the Ampliwave Go that I like is not only is it a amplification system for the teacher's voice, students could take the microphone, they can use it and share it, but it does have a lot of input connections. So maybe you will have your laptop and you've got some lesson plans or something like that already on there and you want to pump the audio through it. It's got a USB-C out from the Ampliwave Go, plug it into your computer, your laptop, your desktop, pull the audio from there. That works great. The other thing too is, as an example, if you're out in the field and maybe you're doing a nature walk or something like that, and you as the instructor have bird sounds or other things or your pre-recorded narration on your phone, you can Bluetooth pair it to this. Play that back. And then the other fantastic part about this is that with the amplifier, or excuse me, with the microphone from the instructor, it will automatically duck. And what that is it'll lower the volume on that pre-recorded audio coming through. So now you could narrate on top of what you already have pre-recorded. And I use that example of nature walks and things like that. It's so portable and easy to use. Battery lasts on the microphone for up to 10 hours. The battery on the Ampliwave Go itself goes from 6 to 10 hours, or 8 to 10 hours, really. So I don't think students are going to be out in the field for 10 hours, but you can see that it's going to last all day in a classroom.
Yeah, they're covered just in case.
Yeah, exactly.
Nice. And I love the audio ducking. I would think, a teacher would have to pause it and talk and hit play and pause it and, because they want to be heard. But if it's smart enough to lower the volume of the background, video and let the teacher talk, again, just making life easier for my cousin Sharon.
Yeah, there's one other thing with this that's really great is say that you have some students who have some hearing disabilities and they have a device that's going to amplify the sound. So we do have what's called an ALD, some will refer to as assisted listening device, others you'll hear say assisted learning device. Plug that transmitter from the student's ALD device right into the Ampliwave Go. And now you can also adjust the volume separately from the volume that's coming out of the Ampliwave Go for all the other students, specifically for the group or the one individual that may have that device for themselves.
Nice. That's
So
excellent. Yeah.
yeah, it really is. And for such a small, compact design, it has a lot of things that it could do. And like we're saying, audio is very important.
Yeah. Oh, the most important. It just is.
I like music, and I would like to hear my music and sounds in a clear, nice volume, and that goes with anything I hear from teachers and things like that as well.
Yeah, and I'm a video guy. I should be saying video is the most important, but even as a video guy, audio is the most important. All right, anything else
Yeah.
on this one? Or are we ready to move on to the document camera?
Yeah, one more thing with this is,
Okay.
we do have a lot of students who are English as a second language, and again, this goes back to being able to hear clear sound and be able to understand what's coming from the teacher. And the clearer it is, the better it is, not only for us, English as a first language students, but it really helps out for those kids who have English as a second language. Or again, if you're in the back of the classroom, my voice here is not going to be as loud as it is in the back of the classroom.
Yeah.
So all of this really plays into kids being able to hear, understand, and retain the information that they hear.
Oh, that's a powerful device. I thought this was going to be a simple microphone thing, but it's got a lot of features, a lot of advanced features in there.
It really does. Yeah.
Excellent. Well, we'll put a link down to that for more information. And so the last item is our document camera.
Oh,
I love
my
document
favorite.
cameras.
My favorite.
They're
Yeah.
just cool.
It is. It's one of those technologies that's been around for quite some time in K through 12 and everywhere else. So I think a lot of times that people will say, "Oh, it's old technology," but with document cameras, a couple things I have to say about that is I've got a pen right here and paper. How old is that, right? But I have it next to all of my high-tech devices. That's the same with the document camera. And, got to think about this. Document cameras do not compete with other technologies in the classroom. Document cameras complement those technologies. So whether it be a projector, a flat panel, or just your laptop, it really complements it. So it's super important. And the one thing, we do have a new wireless document camera.
Oh,
And
nice.
that's the M11WB. So can I tell you a little bit about why I'm so
Sure.
excited and jazzed about wireless?
Absolutely.
David, I use this document camera more than just we'll say an office or classroom situation. I use it for personal use. And I think this personal use translates over into the classroom too. And it's the portability of it. I've got my regular work desk here. I've got my other desk over there that I have a larger monitor. The Zoom capability using this document camera with our software, the AVer Touch software, which is free, really allows me to zoom in on the puzzle that I'm looking at because it's right here. I'm looking at it, but it's so much better when I can see it on my larger screen and I could just look around and go, that's that piece that I'm missing. So it
Oh, that's a
really
fun use
helps.
for it.
Yeah. I mean, it really helps out visually and everything. And like I said, the portability of the M11WB is great because, again, I'm working on that puzzle. And the reason I take it over there with the document camera is my puzzle is larger than the area that I have on my desk. And I think that's the other thing with teachers is you have such a limited real estate. Now, it's not to say that the M11WB doc cam has a large base because it's only about 4 inches, but you might want to be able to have a larger workstation, but you don't want to be tied to your desktop. That's why I love that wireless, and it really engages the kids because now they could take that document camera and share whatever they're doing on their desk or in groups.
Oh, right. You can move it around the room, and each student can share their work.
Yeah,
I never
yeah.
thought of using a document camera that way. I thought it's locked down at the front of the room, and you have to walk. I don't think of it as a portable device. They're big, traditionally.
Traditionally, yeah.
Yeah,
And the M11WB is really compact. Like I said, the base is small. It's a tower design. So, some of the other things too is it really does help students get engaged and stay engaged because if you give them a task or something to do, they're working in groups. All right, let's see what group number one has, and you give them the document camera. You bet that they're going to let me show this. Let me show
yeah.
what I've got. It's a fantastic device.
Yeah, and just the example you were giving an example of using it yourself just to see something bigger, the puzzle. But in my mind, I was thinking, oh, well, now instead of you doing the puzzle, the whole class could be doing a puzzle. It takes a single activity and makes it a group activity. Instead of the teacher or one student working on something, the whole class is looking at the same thing and working on it together. It's a class puzzle.
Exactly. Yes, yes. That's what we want. We want engagement. We want kids to participate. It makes it, I think, a little bit easier for teachers as well because it's kind of like it manages the students. It keeps their attention when you see something that's bright, bold, colorful, and you see things that are going in real time. And that's why I was saying that the document camera really is a piece of equipment that complements and does not compete with other technologies. This allows you to take any one of these 3D objects, put it down, and away you go. Folks might say, well, I've got all these images and everything else, peripheral stuff on my computer, my laptop ready to go, but that's all 2D. What if I need to grab something right away? What if a student wants to share something? I can take that wireless document camera right over to their desk.
I wish we had this when I was a kid because I had trouble paying attention and staying engaged. I needed, I needed technology, I needed visuals, I needed engagement to help me learn, and it was really tough for me to just sit there and look at a book. I needed this kind of interactivity, and we didn't have as much of it back then. So, I'm glad the kids today are getting it.
You and me both. I could have used one of these back in the day.
Yeah,
There's one other thing I like to add with this. It's wireless, yes, but it's not just the capability of going wireless through the classroom network. You also have a um, hotspot Wi-Fi that you could connect to. So if you don't want to use a classroom network or something like that, as long as you could get into your hotspot from your laptop, it'll create its own connection there. So you could do that.
nice,
Or maybe if you want to be hardwired at some point in time, you can do that as well. USB-C out on this connects right to your laptop. So it'll power it at the same time. And you can use your AVer software and do a lot of different things. Oh, by the way, in order to go wireless, yes, you have to have that AVer software because that's how it's going to control and say, I want you to use it on a router or the hotspot. So you'll need to have that downloaded. And once again, it's free and it enables that document camera to do so much more.
nice. Yeah, you want the control software. Today's hardware devices are, the power is in the software. So yeah, take the time, download the free software, get everything you can out of it.
Yeah, yeah. But yeah, that's really it. Those three new items right there. I just wanted to give a quick shout to those products because you can tell that hopefully you could tell I love them and they're great. And again, David, like you said, you're a video guy, but sound is so important. Sound is very
Yeah.
important. Being
Oh,
able to see things and at first hand, real time is great for me and very important for document cameras. And I like to have my devices charged, but I don't have 30 devices. So the charge cards are very important in classrooms, especially that new E30P.
I got to give some credit to your developers. Your developers, do you ever give them a vacation? Do you ever give them a break? Every time I talk to you, there's new products and new products with leading features. AVer is, it's hard enough just to play catch up in this environment. There's so much new stuff, but you guys are staying ahead. Every time I talk to you, it's, oh yeah, we have X, we have 5 new things. We have 10 new things. We need to talk to you, Dave. We have new things. And like we saw today, it's not just three, okay, whatever. It's three actually very cool, interesting new things.
Yeah, we try to listen to what the end user really wants and needs, and we try to work those into the product line and do the best we can to help out not only the teachers, but the future, the kids.
Yeah, and those kids are gonna have a lot less to complain about than we had to complain about because they have all these tools to learn. They're gonna be so much smarter than us. Always fun to have you here, Chuck, and thank you everyone for watching. We'll put the links down in the description so you can learn more about these new products. And have a great day, everyone. Take care.